This is my first video for this channel. My name is Chris, and I am basically just sort of documenting my journey of, I guess, like self-healing. I've had a lot of things like happen throughout my life, and I guess I'm just using this as a way of being able to talk about what I'm going through and a way to see if I can connect with anybody else. And yeah, um, so a little bit of a backstory, I guess, is um, I grew up in like sort of like a low income like apartment in a small town in Massachusetts. Um, and sorry for the mess. I'm in the middle of moving at the moment, but yeah. So I grew up in a small town, Massachusetts, and around a lot of like more well-off like families and stuff like that. So my family sort of lived in like the like I don't know, it's a wealthy town, but my family sort of lived in like the ghetto of the town, I guess you'd say, or the low income part of the town. But we still, like, my family did that so we could go to that school and have the education because that school system was very highly looked after, I guess. But anyways, so I basically had a sort of rough childhood, like not rough, like as in like the people that I lived around, but like my family was sort of like a toxic environment. Um, and just I've been sort of just like coming. I've always known that I had a different childhood, but I never really like told myself that that was a thing. I always just said like, oh, it made me who I am, like it made me stronger, or whatever. But I've never really like opened up to the thought that it could be a like point of like trauma or anything like that. I never thought that anything that I had ever been through could be trauma or ever would be considered trauma. But yeah, so when I was young, my mom was sort of like the only one there for me. My dad was super young. He just wasn't ready for that. He had his own problems that he was dealing with. And so that was a hard thing for the family. And then when they separated and my mom met her next boyfriend, he had two daughters. So I became like part of I wasn't an only child anymore. But anyways, it became more of like a family at that point, you know? So it wasn't just me anymore, and my mom. And it was me, my mom, my new stepfather, and his two daughters. And it was very different for me. I was used to being an only child. I didn't have to worry about anybody else. I didn't have to think about anybody else. And bringing them into the family was sort of different. But it was something that I got used to, and I ended up really caring about those two people afterwards. But yeah, over time we got to know my stepfather and found out that he had like alcohol issues and had anger problems and all this stuff, and a lot of crazy things that I'll get more into in different videos and everything came up. But yeah, and then I don't know. It's definitely been a big thing, and just like getting to understand that all those things, like, it wasn't really my fault. And I was nine years old when all of that stuff happened, and because of the fact that the alcoholism of my stepfather was so intense, I was sort of put into a man of the house position at a very young age. yeah, my mom always used to say that from like 9 years old, I was the most mature person in the house, like aside from her, but the man of the house, I guess you'd say. But yeah, so um, after that, it was more alcoholism, more like anger, like my stepfather, like breaking things, and basically we spent our entirety of our like early teenage years just like catering to him, right? Making sure that he was okay, and making sure that he didn't drink too much, and if he did, making sure that he stayed calm, and all these other things. So it was definitely a weird situation for like up to like 13 years old for me to be put in. Um, yeah, and it was definitely a hard thing. So I guess just the topic of all this is where the stuff that I'm going through now is stemming from, and what things from that period like sort of caused me to have the psychological problems that I do now, or emotional problems that I do now. And the fact that I've sort of like, I guess, like just swept them under the rug the whole time, because I knew that I was different, but I didn't know why I was different. I didn't know why I was acting unique, or anything like that. So yeah, um, I guess that's basically it. So I'm trying to start this channel to keep like growing, and to sort of document my time. But yeah, I mean, over the last like probably about like 2 weeks or so, some life changes have really sort of thrown my whole life like upside down. And a lot of the things that are happening are sort of due to my underlying things that I have to work on, and which is why I'm making this channel, and why I'm working on it. And I need to better myself. I need to make sure that I'm best for the people around me and best for myself. Yeah, I can't just I can't keep ignoring these things. So yeah, if you see this video because of anything, you want to jump on board and watch, and support, or if any of this could possibly help you in any way, please come and join. And yeah, much love, and I will see you guys all in the next video.